This is something a lot of you have been asking for. Stories that happen during school lockdowns. Most people think lockdowns are just precautionary, but sometimes the reason for that lockdown is a lot worse than anyone inside the classroom realizes. Tonight, I found 3 real experiences from people who went through school lockdowns, and what happened in those hallways still gives them nightmares. Happened to a student named Marcus during his junior year of high school. It was a normal Tuesday morning. Second period history. Nothing interesting happening. The teacher was halfway through a lecture about the Cold War. Then the intercom turned on. Normally announcements were calm and routine, but this one sounded different. The principal's voice was shaky. He said, "Teachers, initiate lockdown procedures immediately." At first the class thought it was a drill, but the teacher's reaction told a different story. He ran to the door and locked it, turned off the lights, then told everyone to move to the back of the classroom. Within seconds, the entire class was sitting on the floor, silent, phones on silent, nobody talking. About 5 minutes passed. Then they heard footsteps in the hallway, slow footsteps, walking past classrooms, then stopping, right outside their door. Marcus said you could hear someone breathing on the other side, heavy breathing. Then the door handle moved. Whoever it was tried to open it. Once, twice, then the footsteps moved away. But that wasn't the end, because a minute later, they heard the stairwell door open nearby, and someone started yelling. Not yelling for help, just screaming random words, like someone completely out of control. Police arrived 20 minutes later. They found a man hiding in the stairwell. He had broken into the school through a side entrance. No one was hurt, but Marcus said he still remembers that breathing outside the classroom door, and wondering if the lock would hold. Second story happened in a middle school in Ohio. It was lunchtime when the lockdown started. Students were crowded in the cafeteria, talking, eating, the usual chaos. Then suddenly the cafeteria doors slammed open. 2 teachers rushed inside, yelling for everyone to get down. Within seconds the room went quiet. Students were told to hide under tables. Lights were shut off. The entire cafeteria was dark. No one explained what was happening. 10 minutes passed. Then 15. Students started whispering to each other. Then something strange happened. Someone started knocking on the cafeteria door. 3 slow knocks. Then a voice said, "Open up. It's safe now." But the teachers didn't move. They just stayed silent. The voice knocked again. "Open the door." One of the teachers whispered something to the other. Then both of them slowly walked toward the door. But instead of opening it, they moved a heavy table in front of it, because the voice outside the door wasn't any staff member they recognized. Police eventually escorted everyone out. Later they learned the truth. A man had entered the building pretending to be a substitute teacher. But when staff asked him for identification, he ran and disappeared into the building. They never found him. To this day, no one knows who he was or why he was there. Final story happened in a high school computer lab. A student named Kevin was staying after school to finish a project. Only a few teachers were still in the building. The computer lab was in the basement. Quiet, almost empty. Around 5:30 p.m., the loudspeaker suddenly came on. "Attention staff. Lockdown immediately." Kevin froze. There were only 2 other students in the lab. The teacher quickly shut off the lights and told everyone to stay quiet. Minutes passed. Then they heard the basement door open. Footsteps on the stairs. Slow. Careful. Someone walking down. The footsteps reached the hallway outside the lab, then stopped. Kevin said the scariest part was the silence that followed. Like whoever it was listening. Then something tapped on the lab door. 3 taps. Then the doorknob turned slowly. But the door was locked. The handle stopped moving. Then the footsteps walked away. Police arrived soon after. They found a man hiding in a storage room downstairs. He had broken into the building looking for someone. But Kevin said the strangest part came later, when police showed security footage, because the cameras showed the man walking down the stairs. But when he reached the basement hallway, he walked in the opposite direction of the lab, meaning whoever tried that door was someone else, someone who was never caught. Lockdowns are meant to keep students safe. Most of the time, they're just precautionary. But every once in a while, something happens inside those buildings that nobody can explain, and the people who experienced it never forget the sound of footsteps in the hallway when everyone is supposed to be hiding. Subscribe if you're brave enough for the next story.